Hey guys, Vanessa here, and it is currently October, which means that I have been working on creepy photos, and I'm going to be working on creepy photos for the rest of the month. And today I want to share with you guys a technique that I use in Photoshop to make my fingers and my fingertips look black and like they are frostbitten. Now, when I was planning for this video, that's all I was planning on showing you, but then I had the idea of reversing this technique and making my fingers look really white. So I tested it because I've never actually done it before. I tested it before filming and it works. It'll look really good to make somebody's skin look more pale and ghostly. So I'm actually really looking forward to using the reverse of the technique to make like ghosty photos this month too. So I hope you guys find this helpful, and I'm gonna get started. Okay, so here I have my image that I haven't started doing anything to it yet. And the first thing that I'm going to do is start with a adjustment layer, and it's gonna be black and white. So it turns the image black and white, and I have my properties panel over here, and I'm going to go into the presets. And if you click on them, it changes basically the luminosity, but still in keeping it black and white. So for this, because I want my fingertips to be darker, I always go with the high contrast blue filter, and it'll make my skin tones much darker. So I know you're looking at this and you're like, but it's black and white and that's weird. So basically, I'm just looking for the luminosity right now. So I'll change the blend mode of this adjustment layer to luminosity. And now it's looking like I'm a little bit tan. That's okay. And the layer mask here, I'm going to invert it so you can't actually see it. And then I'm on my brush and I'm on white. And I'm going to use the layer mask to paint in the areas that I'm going to want to have darker. I masked that in with 100% opacity, and I want it to fade a little bit more. So now I'm going to use a brush that I just lower it a chunk. It's sitting at 57. It'll be fine. And I'm going to go back and do some more masking, bringing it down and blending it. All right, so that's starting to look really good, but it's not exactly black. They're just looking a little bit darker. And the next step that I do is I copy this layer. So I push Control J, and that will make a complete copy of it. And it's doubled up on what I did, but it's looking a little strange. So what I do at this point is I change the blend mode from luminosity to multiply. And that's where we get more of the black finger look. And here's where you can see, like, I was really sloppy and kind of filling it in quick. You can see spots that I missed, particularly like right here in the nail. And this looks like it could use a little bit touching up. So if it's not looking as smooth and as graceful, I don't know, gradual, there we go. It's not looking as gradual as it is here, you can go back onto the layer mask and tweak it. It's nice to make the layer masks a little bit different so that it's not getting such harsh lines, because when you double up on them like that, that's when you're gonna get more prominent lines. If I vary it a little bit, it will be less noticeable. But it's nice to get the chunk of it done in the first go around, so you're not sitting here repainting the fingers again and again. You're just tweaking it. And if you have any areas that are coming out over the finger, this is where you could go in and clean that up too. And really just take your time to make it look good. Okay, so that's basically what I would do to get the black fingers that I want in my creepy images. The reason why I choose to use Photoshop to change my fingertips to black instead of potentially using some kind of makeup product is because I am a self-portrait photographer. I'm not only just standing there posing, but I'm also walking back and forth from my camera, fiddling with the settings, and touching my equipment. I have tried to put makeup on my fingers before, and I found it really frustrating because I was getting it on everything, even though I tried really hard not to, and I got this like ultra stay matte stuff. I could probably buy an even higher quality product, but for me, I just can't justify the price of buying like a really high quality product for this when I could just do it in Photoshop. So I don't use black makeup on my fingers anymore. Not only that, but if I'm handling products or in some shots if I'm like touching my face, and then I'm getting it on everything. So I just found this to be a lot more effective and efficient than using a makeup product. But if you're shooting a model that's not going to be handling all your equipment or anything, it could be easier to just do the makeup on the fingers. Another thing that I like of a lot of variety, so if I'm doing a shoot, I may not always want the black fingers in the photo, like I might want it in this one but not in that one, and then this gives me the flexibility for that, because trying to remove it out of a photo would be, I don't even know if how naturally that could be done, and I would never want to try. So this option gives me the flexibility to have it there or not. So the next thing that I'm going to do, and it's going to be super quick because I've already got the layer masks there and the black and white adjustment layers, is to show you how to make it a pale color. I'm going to copy one of these layers again. So Control J. I'm going to change this. Instead of having the high contrast blue filter in the properties, I'm going to have the opposite, which is the high contrast red filter. And it's still on luminosity, so that has made my fingertips quite a bit lighter. And then basically the same thing that I did before, where I copied it and then I made a multiply adjustment layer, or I put it on multiply blending mode. I'm going to copy it, and instead of luminosity and instead of multiply, I'm going to do screen. And that gets it really, really white. And I feel like it's a little bit too white, like we could get away with the really black dark, but this looks a little strange. So I'm just going to lower the opacity a little bit, and maybe this one too. And then any tweaking that I need to do, I feel like right in here, there's quite a harsh line right there. So I would do tweaking of that also in the masking. And there we have the really, really pale white fingers. So the black fingers and the white fingers, apparently if you put them together, you just get black and white fingers, obviously. So for myself, I think because I'm not done editing this photo, I might continue on and end up using the light technique on the opposite to make the dark finger stand out even more. I might make the rest of my skin very, very white and do it that way. I think it'll look really cool. Like I said, I'm a self-portrait photographer, so I don't often take photos of other people, and I don't have to deal with variety of skin tones. So for my own curiosity, I went onto Pixabay and I found an image of somebody with a dark skin tone, and I did the exact same techniques just to see if it would work. And so this is the effect of the whitened fingers, and this is the effect of the darkened fingers. You can see that it still works. It just looks different because it'll be less contrast and then more contrast there. So it should work on varying degrees in between to different extents, and you can always tweak it as needed, and that's the effect. I hope you guys liked my edit. Here's the final result with the black fingers and the pale skin. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe to stay up to date on everything that I am doing, and follow me on Instagram, Wild Empress, for behind the scenes, day-to-day things and my stories, and to see all my other photos. Have a great day.